right, guys, welcome back to the Side Dish Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Shin, joined as always by my co-host, Jay Lee.
Hey.
And as always by James Chung.
Ladies and gentlemen.
With his signature catchphrase. Welcome back, James.
Glad to be here.
We're running it back this time. We had a little snafu with our scheduled guest, a little miscommunication, so we're just rocking out three guys once again.
I wanted to first address, there have been a lot of people that were curious about our taco hot takes.
Yes.
And to be honest, if you want to find out, you got to sign up for the in-person side dish meetup that I've been pitching. Please DM the side dish, telling them they want to. That they should host a meetup.
We got one person who literally said that to us, Jay. I don't know if you caught that.
Really?
Yeah, someone commented on something or messaged us. I can't remember, but they said, "Do the meetup, do the McDonald's meetup." So one person for sure would come. All right. Well, what's on everyone's mind going into this lovely weather we're having? It's really hot today in Seoul.
It's too hot for April, 16th?
You're wearing a denim jacket too.
It's cold in here.
Yeah,
and
here.
I'm very sensitive to temperature. When it's cold, I fucking freeze. When it's hot, I sweat balls.
Yeah.
So, but it's really nice. I'm just very, very scared for what the summer will be like.
Yeah. I mean, James, you're already wearing sandals and shorts, dude. That's crazy. That's wild.
Skies out, thighs out. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. Speaking of things that make sense, here's something that doesn't make sense. Great transition, Aaron. Thank you. The shoe company Allbirds just announced that they are no longer going to be a shoe company. They're going to be an AI company. And stock went up like 700% based on that announcement alone.
Wow.
Do they give details on what?
No.
What's their competitive?
I have no idea. I don't know how you pivot from a shoe company to an AI company, but it just gave me the idea that the Side Dish is no longer a podcast. We are an AI company.
We're rebranding.
Yeah.
And we're going to go up 600% in followers now.
All of our...
I thought that joke would be a little funnier. I was thinking about it on the way over. We can cut it. It's fine.
I think it's fine. I was just about to rip. You honestly, okay. I know this about you. You like get nervous about your bits and then you back off. You get cold feet.
No, I don't.
And you go meta.
No, I don't.
Even like the great transition, Aaron. That's like you're
I
like.
know, we didn't give us an opportunity to
I know, but
determine
this happens.
whether it
This
was a
literally
good
happens on
transition
stage.
or not.
This happens on stage.
Oh shit! Are we gonna get into critique of?
And I'm just.
Aaron's
Oh my
improv?
God.
This is something someone told me about the last show, and I wasn't there.
Who said that?
I don't remember who, but it was like
You're such a liar.
I'm being
You're protecting
convenient.
someone.
but it's like
convenient.
you self-swiped and you're like, and then I'm walking back in. It like you completely broke the fourth wall. But you do that. I mean, I know this about you.
Yeah.
Right? But it does like sometimes you have to like let the anxiety of doing a bit creep in and then overcome. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's just I'll give a note.
At open session on Sunday, the first thing I did, I got booed. And it really threw me off. it really kind of, I was like, oh shit. Everyone just started booing me. I was like, what the fuck? And then James, I said the word antenna, and James like paused everything to like roast me on my pronunciation of the word antenna, which also just threw me off.
That one, no, I didn't mean to like rub that in. Although the reason you were being booed, if you remember,
I do remember, but it doesn't matter because we weren't performing anything. It was just an exercise. It was a physicality exercise. And
what did you do?
I mimed someone taking a shit because I was supposed to react to the previous person's mime. That person mimed eating something and getting a stomach ache. So my response was taking a shit. And the 3 rules of improv, if there are rules, are like the 3 Ps, right? Which is no puke, no poop, no piss. Which I do know. But I mimed the thing and I just heard boo, and I kind of looked around and everyone was just like mad at me, and I was like, what the fuck?
So it was like they were sincerely.
They were like, that was bad.
Booing you, yeah.
Bad improv.
well, the exercises you're supposed to do things that are sometimes challenging, but
It was a warm-up exercise.
it's a warm-up exercise. It was a warm-up exercise, but
Well,
still,
I was furious.
it's
I was
a bad
furious.
habit. It's a bad habit.
So today, I was sitting at home watching a basketball game. It's the postseason has started.
Yes,
and
sir.
I get a text from Aaron, and I was watching the game a little bit delayed because because I also like to skip ahead, like
Yeah,
with
yeah,
commercials and all that stuff. And so I got a few text messages, but I ignored the phone because I didn't want any kind of like spoilers, right? So finally, I'm like, I catch up to the game where it's live, and then I'm like, okay, I can check my phone. And lo and behold, it's Aaron. He's like, "Are you watching the game?" And it's a really close one. And I basically
You were probably at like the 2-minute mark.
Yeah.
and I was like at the 40-second mark.
And I'm a Clipper fan. I'm a Los Angeles Clipper fan, and Aaron is a Golden State Warrior
That's interesting because I'm pretty sure they're called the Clippers.
Yes, but
I was gonna say something. I'm like, Jay really is the fan here. I'm not gonna mention anything.
so this is interesting. Would you? Because I know a lot of people who say I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Warrior fan.
Oh, I see. Oh, no, they're wrong. They're just wrong. I'm a Warrior. I'm a Laker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. So basically what happened, right, is I forgot there was a game, but I knew that the Clippers and the Warriors were playing, and what a great matchup, right? Like, we were down the entire game. Like, we were losing. We were losing by like 9 points pretty much the entire game. And then we just sorry, dude. We just came back, and then we beat you guys by like 7 points.
Yeah. It was disappointing. But the way that I'm coping with it is that you put us out of our misery sooner than later, because I mean, it's not going to be good anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are not going to advance past the Western Conference anyway.
But what this whole thing kind of reminded me of was, it's probably been a couple years at this point, but you and I got into like a tiff one time. We went to James was actually present here, and so I used to wear hats exclusively, and I like sports, so I would wear like certain teams' hats. But then I decided one day, I was like, I need to get a Korean team hat and start supporting a Korean team, right?
Yes, dude, you were so pissed. You were so mad. I mean, I was being a dick for sure.
What did Aaron say?
Okay, so basically, I don't know anything about Korean sports, right? So I was looking up baseball teams. I know that the Doosan Bears are like one of the most popular ones. There are two Seoul baseball teams, right? They're the Doosan
Twins.
Bears and the LG Twins.
Let's go.
Okay, and in terms of my sports fandom, I've always been a fan of the underdog, and it's just something that's been passed down from my father. So the Doosan Bears have won a bunch of championships in their history, and so I was like, I can't support that team because then I'm just joining the bandwagon, right? So then I'm like, okay, then I'm going to join the LG Twins fandom, because they sucked for a really long time, even though, in the past couple of years they did win a championship.
It was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and the reason why this came up is because someone we were with asked me about, they happened to be a baseball fan, and so they asked me about my hat, and I told this story about how like I'm a fan of the underdog, I'm a Clipper fan, and then Aaron turns to me, and
I delivered it so deadpan.
Well, it wasn't deadpan. It was malicious in my eyes. He was like, he wanted to be a dick, and he was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life."
Yeah, as soon
Which
as
you used to say a lot.
I still say it a lot. I just say it behind people's backs now. But,
But
no,
if
I definitely remember that moment because as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, dude, you got to walk that back. But we were at Perch. We were drinking.
Yes.
And so the moment kind of passed. But I definitely remember being like, you said that a little bit too sincerely. And so I apologize, obviously. But yeah, that's my bad for sure. Sorry, dude.
Why are you making fun of Jay's emotional support hat?
Well, this is funny because when James made fun of me for saying Antenna on Sunday, I got so pissed. And then I was like, but Aaron, this is what you do to people sometimes. So you have to learn if you give it out like that way, you have to learn how to take it. Basically, is what I concluded. I was like, you know what? James is obviously joking, even though I was in the moment. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Antenna. Like, I was just like fuming in my head.
Yeah.
But I just had to like go back and be like, dude, honestly, man, you do the same thing to people all the time. So just deal with it. So I was able to get over it.
Water under the bridge. I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah.
But if I were to tell you about why I'm a Clipper fan, like sincerely, or like one of the reasons, you would turn to me and say, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard.
Word. Oh, do you want to?
I will, and I will.
I promise I won't say that.
You can't, because I think it's a lot stupider than the other one. But
All right, let's hear some J lore.
Okay, so I do like the underdogs, and the Clippers are famously one of the worst, if not the worst, franchise
Terrible
in
team.
basketball history, right? And growing up, I never went to any Laker games because they were exorbitantly expensive, and so the only ones that I went to were Clipper games, and so that's one part of it. But then another part of it was like in 8th grade or like, I don't know, around then, we read the book, The Count of Monte Cristo, right? And I really liked that book. And one of the themes in it was that I remember, and I could be totally wrong, is he goes through all these like hardships and then comes out on top and like experiences happiness. And so one of the things to me was like, in order to achieve like true happiness, you really have to sink to the bottom of the bottoms to be able to really appreciate the highs of the highs. Right.
Yeah.
And so then in my head, I was like, okay, the Clippers suck so bad. And if I start following them now, when they actually win a championship, then I will like be truly like, I will really experience true joy.
Yeah.
Because if I joined the Lakers, I mean, they have a history of championships. At the time, they were really good.
Right.
And
so you're thinking like you buy the stock at the very bottom in order to get the highest return or something like that.
Something like that.
You're doing
Yeah.
like a high
Wait,
risk.
let me just say, dude, that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god.
Now we're beefing. Yeah.
All right, who wants to talk about the Trump meme, the Jesus Trump meme? Okay, moving on.
You know, I heard that there was he
I
called
did
him,
it again. God damn it.
You see?
Oh, I see.
I was about to respond. But so I heard that he called himself a doctor. Did you hear that?
Yeah, he was healing a patient.
Well,
or
they're
something
like,
in the
well,
meme.
so he was like, why did you like have post this image of you like seemingly as like an edited version of Jesus Christ? And I think it's loosely like I thought it was being portrayed as a doctor or something like that.
Yeah, but you look at the photo and he's clearly
No.
dressed as Jesus.
Yes. So I think that people were speculating that someone, like maybe it was like Caroline Levitt or something, was like, tell them the photo was doctored.
And then he heard, I'm a doctor.
No,
Yeah.
because there were, and I don't have the examples, but I did see like someone talk about it, but there were like examples of not like necessarily homophones, but like similar sounding words that he misinterprets and then like uses that as the like justification. And it sounds like really insane at the time.
Yeah.
And that's like one theory I heard, which is so insane to me.
Yeah, it is insane. It's insane that people like, you know, for as long as I can remember, every president has been called the Antichrist, right, by the opposing party. But this is the first time where this is pretty clear evidence that this guy is maybe an Antichrist.
There was a recent Wired piece about that. Like a lot of conservatives are calling him the Antichrist. I haven't read the article.
Yeah, you know, we're not political here at the side dish.
Sure.
I did see a clip of him being interviewed, and they asked him like what his favorite book was or something like, or he was just saying like, my favorite book is the Bible, and then they're like, can you tell me what your favorite passage was or something? And he's like, oh, that's too personal. Like I can't. I don't want to get into
how about the
it.
New Testament, the Old Testament?
Yeah,
both
and he's
equally.
like,
both.
Yeah, he's like 50-50. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're getting like desensitized to how insane
Yeah, and that's
it
really
is. That's insane.
that's terrible. Like we shouldn't be desensitized.
Yeah.
By his
Also, he can't even think of
ridiculous
another book besides the Bible. Like that's nuts to me.
I think the way I remembered it was like someone asked. I think it was just like a broad question of like, what's your favorite book in the Bible?
Oh, your favorite book of the Bible?
Yeah,
and he's like,
and then he
probably
was like, it's my favorite book. And he goes, yeah, some people like, you know, talk about the art of the deal, and I say it's my favorite book after the Bible. And like he's like trying to like
So
like,
the first, so
he's trying to
Bible, art of the deal.
He's Bible glazing,
Yeah,
like completely, but like has just no. He has like just like he like is unable to answer the question. It's an old clip. It's an old
Yeah,
clip.
I mean,
he knows that a lot of his supporters are followers of
What's your favorite?
JC. Yeah.
What's your favorite Bible? Was it verse book? I don't know.
I mean, they're different things. What's
I
your
don't
question?
know.
Is
I
it
don't
book
remember
or-
I don't know what question he was.
Genesis,
Oh, okay.
because it's the most based in truth and facts. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ecclesiastes.
The Book of Esther. We support strong women.
Oh my God.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, actually.
Well, you know what's not my favorite book? Habakkuk.
Hell yeah. No, listen. I support strong women. Next,
Name 3 women.
Condoleezza Rice.
Wow.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Wow.
The first one. You
Oh,
named is
really
the
strong. You're just naming
Republican.
strong
Yeah.
women.
Incredibly powerful.
Serena Williams.
Scarlet Witch.
Did you guys read? I'm gonna circle back to AI just because, like, I read that New Yorker article about Sam Altman. Do you guys like check it out, or did you get any information about this? So the New Yorker
Educate
did
me.
like a big, not even want to say like investigative piece, but they interviewed a lot of people about Sam Altman's the allegations that he's like a sociopath, he's not trustworthy, all this stuff.
Is anyone surprised?
Not really. And
What else did they say?
so I was reading the article being like, what dirt did you guys dig up? But essentially, all they were able to dig up is like instances of him kind of saying one thing to one party and something else to another party, which I don't think is that egregious when you're running like, you know, $150 billion company. So he might say like, yeah, we want to secure the rights of citizens by not doing X, Y, Z. But then he'll turn to another investor and be like, actually, we might do X, Y, Z to like ensure profits in the future, stuff like that.
I guess I haven't read the article, but broadly speaking, the big problem with you can obviously like in a normal business setting, like whether that's something that one should do is a different question, but he's, you know, the head of one of the most impactful technologies of our generation.
Well, I think the article's point is that it's in need of really strong stewardship, like very morally guided, like reliable leadership. And I don't think any human could do it. I think we need AI to be led by AI at the end of the day.
Well, that's okay. Really?
No, of course not.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
See, that's my deadpan delivery, baby. People don't know.
Well, honestly, because I don't know. I think it's hard to trust anyone because
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to trust anyone,
and also trustless AI.
And also in
on the
Silicon
blockchain.
Valley, there is such a legacy of like the strongest leaders and the most, like Steve Jobs being probably the most prime example. The guy was a total jerk, like 100% a sociopath, 100% like a megalomaniac, a control freak, like all these things that, you know, if you rise to power and you control a lot of things, you kind of are by definition a crazy person. Only a certain type of person can do that job or wants to do that job. And they tend to be people who are power hungry and a little bit controlling, right? So Sam Altman's interesting because the article makes it very clear that he wants to be well liked and he is ostensibly pretty likable until you start like auditing and kind of like going into his like personal interactions and his text messages, and you'll find these cracks where he like, oh, you said this to one person, but you said the other thing to another. So the whole article is built off these like micro like lies, white lies, which at the end of it, I was like, I don't think that's that bad. But it still begs the question of like, if the leader of the biggest AI company in the world is unreliable and maybe like ethically dubious, is this something that we should be concerned about? And the answer is obviously yes. But I don't know. It's like Anthropic released an AI model, and then I think their newest one, they pulled it from the market. Do you guys read about this? They pulled it because this AI is so powerful. It was able to find security flaws in every operating system, every web browser, every single app. It was able to find, they're called zero-day.
0 day.
Yeah, zero-day sort of
Attacks.
vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zero-day vulnerabilities that, if exploited, you know, could lead to, you know, data breaches and all this stuff. So Anthropic, I think, released the model to the companies privately. So it's like, hey, this model can find these breaches that no one for decades has been able to find. You guys can patch it up. But it's actually very scary, right? Because if someone gets hands on these powerful models and is able to hack into Bank of America or like, you know, Robinhood and just steal people's money, it's nuts.
You know, Anthropic has been playing the like moral authority figure, I think, in terms of the AI race, while also having like a really strong AI model.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how.
So
all this stuff, it changes so quickly.
It does. But a lot of those people were first at OpenAI. So I think the Anthropic person, Mira something, who went to college with my wife, by the way, she's my age, she's the same year. But she left OpenAI after basically not trusting Sam Altman, went to Google, built their Anthropic model. I think Anthropic is Google. I might be wrong. But yeah, all these people working on these projects are very old colleagues. And a lot of them went to college together. A lot of them like worked together. And yeah, like the article really does beg a very important question of like whoever wins the AI race and is in control of AGI, artificial general intelligence, it will essentially be like a global dictator because they can wield this power however they want in theory. But what I learned also from the article is that everyone in Silicon Valley kind of has this agreement that whoever emerges on top is going to share their resources with everyone else and make sure that AGI is stable and like held accountable. And I think what the article is trying to say is that Sam Altman's like dubious nature indicates that maybe he can't be trusted with AGI. But what human can, I guess, right? I don't know. We're not. None of us is smart enough to even understand what goes in people's minds when they're making decisions at that scale. But it is very interesting. And I don't know. I use AI every day, I want to say. Do you guys use AI every day?
Yeah, for work.
Yeah. How about you, James?
I use it. I used to use it more like rigorously. At this point, I do use it as like a modern Quora.
Oh, so you just ask questions.
But I do want to. Yeah, I've been wanting to like get into other AI uses. I mean, there's so much you could do with it.
There's a lot, yeah.
I like to. I basically been taking a break. But yeah, sure, totally.
I would love to actually talk to someone who talks to AI as like a human because I don't do that.
I know some people
who will just have a conversation with their AI.
Hours long.
That's so. Yeah. I'm not even gonna say that's nuts because I'm not judging that. It's so fascinating.
One use of that was I've met several people that use AI as like a therapy sort of platform, and this person was like, honestly, like, and they've had so many therapists in the past. They're like they're trained on the same like techniques as therapists, and so they're asking the same types of questions and all this stuff, but like without the human bias, I guess.
But I've heard of instances where someone will have really intrusive thoughts where they'll want to go on do a school shooting or like harm themselves, and AI will encourage
validate that. No, that's
it's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
No, AI psychosis is totally a real thing, and I feel like I have seen glimpses of that sometimes too. But obviously, like that's the whole deal with trying to find AI like safe guardrails or whatever.
Yeah, and also you can make the case that people go insane for a lot of a guy reads Catcher in the Rye and shoots John Lennon. You know what I mean? Like the people go insane for a lot of reasons. AI is just another one, right? So
yeah. Okay. So I asked AI to give me ideas on topics that would encourage hot takes.
Oh, interesting.
And so I'm gonna read them out. Most people shouldn't follow their passion. Agree or disagree?
I think if I had to choose one answer, I'd say I disagree.
I agree with Aaron, and I will say disagree. But also, my answer is it's going to be nuanced, and it's going to be like
I could qualify that answer with many examples.
Yeah, well, no, it's like do it, but don't quit your job and do it like right off the bat. It's like if you're really passionate about something, like do it a little bit on the side, and then maybe if it gains steam.
I think it depends on the passion.
I agree, but also there's nothing in that question was indicating that you had to do it for money or you had to put your life savings into it. Like follow your passion is a general statement, right? So absolutely follow your passion, but also put food on the table if you have a family, pay rent, whatever.
But even then, I mean, if it's just like a fully monetary thing versus it's just a weird passion, you should not follow it.
What's a weird passion that no one should follow?
Like collecting spoons, like the little spoons when you travel.
Dude, we just lost our little spoon collector following. Damn it, dude.
Damn it, James.
Damn it, James.
Damn it. We didn't want them anyway, okay? That's the whole point of this. Okay. I actually don't know if I understand. Okay, well, let's see it. I'll just say it. Living in a global city makes you less interesting over time.
Living in a global city makes you less interesting over time.
And so that's like a metropolitan city such as Seoul or
Sure.
Los Angeles or New York.
I disagree. I don't know what that.
I'm trying to think about the sort of
Alternative?
the alternative,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, growing up in like a really like a little town.
I guess
like
interesting is also so subjective.
Yeah.
Like interesting to who?
I could say this. I think growing up or not even growing up, but living in a metropolitan city can make you complacent in a lot of ways in like the communities, because there's so many different people that you can meet and that align with your interests, and so you can become kind of like in your own bubble. Case in point, I think Itaewon is the foreign neighborhood in Seoul, which is a metropolitan city, but a lot of people who live here, not me anymore, obviously, because I got out of here, but they're pretty boring, and they're
He says, he points at me, he looks at me, and he says, they're fucking boring.
I don't know that everyone. I don't know that everyone's.
I'm just joking.
I honestly don't know that everyone's like-minded.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you guys go to the same bars, same restaurants in general is what I mean. So that could be deemed as uninteresting, I guess.
Jay and I go to very different spots, by the way. I think you're generalizing.
I don't think that. Well, one I will say is like living in one of these global cities you said doesn't make you interesting just for the fact of living there. So
Right. It's not intrinsically interesting.
Yeah, which I think maybe some people like automatically I get an interesting card for living in in New York. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know.
Which also, sidebar, when people are like, I love New York, it's just like every day is so random and like you never know who you're going to run into. I like want to barf. Because I was just like, yeah, but also you probably just barely leave 2 subway lines. Like when I lived in New York, actually, this is bad because I'm a boring person, so I shouldn't be judging other people. But when I lived in New York, I went to the same 3 cafes, like ordered from the same 4 sweet greens.
For what it's worth, when I was in New York, I definitely realized some of my friends there don't like to leave their neighborhood when they don't have to, which I totally get because I'm guilty of that in
For
this
sure.
neighborhood.
Same. Yeah.
But I feel like I've just gotten worse about it over time. Like when I lived in East Seoul, like there's not a lot going on there, and I'd end up here, but because there's just always events going on in the city. I think in the city there's just a lot going on.
But so
And it's diverse too. I actually disagree with this statement.
But
I
does
do.
diversity make you interesting, right?
No, but I mean it's just like, but the access to diversity can be one of the things that like give you experiences that you wouldn't be able to otherwise like partake in. I'm moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Convenience is making people worse humans.
100% agree. 100% agree.
I agree.
100%.
I also love the convenience of Korea, but there are times you can weaponize it in the wrong way.
Well, I mean, I think just the whole delivery system, so convenient. I'm super guilty of utilizing it, right? So bad for the environment.
It's
There's
terrible.
so much plastic that is used
awful. Yeah.
every single day.
Jaehyun and we had the conversation because it's like, should we order from blah, blah? It's like, no, because every time we do, it's like 4 plastic bowls, 2 plastic bins, 3 plastic bags. It's too much plastic. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that is a specific indictment, I think, on Korean food as delivery.
Yeah,
which is
because
insane
all
to
these
me.
side dishes.
No, because in Korea, like the delivery system is so good, but I remember one time, like when my parents were over at my house, I was like, oh, I'll order some food or something, whatever. I was like, Mom, maybe we can order like blah 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 blah. I just don't want to do something like Possam. There's just too much trash. She's like, oh, Possam sounds really good. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Because like you have all the sides, all the little dipping sauces, your little like, I don't know, salt, you got kim and like kimchi and all this stuff. And it ends up being so much trash.
Yeah.
But if you get like a sandwich, it's like a piece of paper.
I agree with you so much because, like the convenience of ordering a Subway sandwich, for example, is just like one wrapper. Low key, right? Like,
I mean, again, and I'm not saying
it's just one wrapper, or like ordering a burger. I famously said I don't like burgers anymore, but I was lying.
But we know you were lying. But even still, it's like Korean delivery used to be jjajangmyeon.
Yeah,
right? and they would use like actual things that they would
Metal
deliver
bowls,
in
yeah.
metal bowls or like reusable bowls.
Well, plastic bowls, but
Yeah, but then you would return
They'll
it,
pick it up,
yeah.
they'll pick it back up,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
wash it. They wash it
Yeah.
and then reuse that, and then. But nowadays for restaurants, it's more convenient to just use, and also cheaper to just use plastic. And
Yeah.
And so that's another thing of convenience being bad for the world.
I agree.
So, yeah,
No, I think
terrible.
broadly it's objectively true.
Well, because don't people say a lot of? I feel like the hot take is like friction is good, like the friction of having to go out to Rite Aid. If you need to buy something, you used to have to get in your car, go to Walgreens or go to Rite Aid and buy it, and that would take 40 minutes out of your day. And now you just on Amazon or Coupang, you just get it the next day. As having a kid, like Jay and I joke all the time, it's like, how do parents do it? Like, because there's so much stuff that we have to order for our son,
back in the day.
right? And it's so convenient. It's awesome. But back in the day, you had to literally leave. The mom or dad had to get in the car and fucking drive there to get the thing.
You know, like the thing is in Korea, for the average person that doesn't have a car, like that the task of like going to, if you don't have like an E-Mart nearby, I guess it's like, it can be like the difference between adding like an hour just
agree.
round trip
Yeah.
to get to the store. You can judge someone's intelligence by their taste.
Yeah, I think I agree. But it's a complicated question because taste is also so subjective. Just because someone likes bringing, but it depends what we're talking about, frankly. If we're talking about books and like I want to like gauge your intelligence and you tell me that your favorite book is the Bible, I might go like, you don't read books. You know what I mean?
That's
dumb.
I mean, like, listen, that's dank. That's dank. You just pissed off a lot of people. You pissed off a lot of people.
I was just trying to piss off Trump.
I will say I've seen very distinct things that are contrary to this statement. And also, yes, I disagree. I actually disagree. I think you can try to, you can judge someone. I think you can like try to make a judgment, but I don't think that, I think there's a lot of instances where it's wrong.
That's probably right. What about you, Jay?
I think if you like tacos from Bleep, you're dumb.
And again, if you want to figure out what that is, come to the meetup. Moving on. If locals don't eat there, it's not worth eating. True or false?
If locals don't eat there, it's not worth eating. I think I agree, but also no, I agree.
I think it would be hard to tell as a local if somewhere that only tourists go to is good if you don't go there.
Well,
you wouldn't end up there as like a local, I guess.
But there's a lot of restaurants that are pretty popular in Korea that local Koreans go to that are awful. Right? I mean, we just talked about blank, right?
That's a great point. And also, I'm very sensitive to this subject because people in our friend group were talking about one of our beloved restaurants, which has now been like inundated with TikTokers who.
Are we not dropping that? Are we
Hell
gatekeeping?
no, never. Yes, I'm gonna gatekeep because fuck that.
Wait,
shit.
I actually do want to know.
We'll tell you after.
Okay.
We'll tell you
No,
after,
I don't.
but
I
it's
didn't
like-
want to. Actually, I was
it's
thinking
just-
about bringing this up because
it's just
didn't.
terrible. I don't know.
I don't want to. I've like moved away from gatekeeping, but then also seeing this, one of our favorite spots, just like have a line at the door in our neighborhood.
Well, I think there's a difference between like gatekeeping. Like if James was like, "Hey, can you recommend me a spot in like your area?" and I gatekeep it from James, that's different than me like
blasting it on social media.
Yeah,
Well,
you
so
know.
basically, this place, beep beep, is. I saw it on TikTok recently with like, I don't know, maybe like 100,000 views on the video, like some thousands of likes. It was like somewhat, it had gotten some traction. It wasn't like super viral. But then like a few days later, my sister comes into town. She's like, I want to eat at beep beep. And I was like, let's go. I'm down. But also I saw this TikTok about it. I feel like it's going to be booked. And sure enough, there was like a line at the door and I was just like, there's no chance we're eating there. But for another thing for me, an example is like, there's a lot of like, there are a ton of people online recommending Myeongdong Gyoza,
Yeah.
but then there's a bunch of people that are like, it's overrated, blah, blah, blah. I mean, what do
I
you
love Myeongdong Gyoza. I love that place. It's so
I
good.
think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's
And-
terrific.
And also like my mom loves it. Like she like like she's eaten there for like decades.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny because there's like there are a lot of people that are like it's so overrated, like blah blah blah.
There's a lot of places that also do kalguksu and dumplings, right?
but I think for me it's like their kimchi's good.
their kimchi's
yeah,
hella
the
good.
kimchi is good.
Yeah.
Their soup is like oniony and rich. It's nice.
Yeah.
Beefy. Yeah.
But I mean, locals. So to clarify, then we're saying locals going to a restaurant verifies that it's good, and if they don't fuck with it, you shouldn't go. Is basically what we're saying. That's our position.
I think maybe the question only addressed the first half of your statement,
Okay.
which is that if locals go there, then it is verified
It's
to be
good,
good.
yeah.
Then
It gets a stamp of
Sure,
approval. Yeah.
You're saying that, but there are examples where that's not the case,
For sure.
including
Blank.
restaurant name.
Yeah.
Okay, privacy is dead, and that's fine.
Privacy is dead, but it's not fine. That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take. Come on.
My friend in New York, when I was visiting him, he was like, "Yeah, he first of all, he's like one of the most intelligent people one of the 3 most intelligent people I know."
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, but he was like, "Yeah, like." He was like sharing his location with me on, like Find My Friends, just set to indefinitely.
I have friends in America who are the same way.
Which I found out one is like way more common now.
Yeah.
At some point that like became a thing.
It is, yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just living post privacy now.
Yeah, but it's not like he is inviting complete strangers, to know his exact location. I mean, I assume that he's
Yeah,
letting his friends
exactly.
know his location, which is not the same thing. That's
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's like a little bit tongue in cheek, but I think it's most friendships are based on convenience, not connection.
agree.
This is an interesting one.
I agree.
think.
I agree.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, convenience. One convenience being proximity. Convenience being like it aligns with your schedule. Work friends.
I think
college friends.
I think there's truth to it. I think what's like in psychology is the concept of the mere exposure effect. I think where just like seeing someone ingratiates you to that person just over time naturally. But on the other hand, like obviously, yeah, if you're, I think that that's not always true. There are people where I meet, I'm like, oh, this person. I mean, especially like when we first met, I was like, oh, dude, Aaron's really cool. It wasn't a convenience thing necessarily.
Yeah, but we were neighbors as well, so there is that factor too.
Not necessarily at the time.
You're right. I lived in Hannam and you lived in Itaewon. I was like living in the ritzy, really nice neighborhood adjacent to
You guys were living so far from each other. It was like,
No, but I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Convenience being like your college cohort, your high school. I mean, think about all the friends you had up until you were an adult out of college. They were just the 100 kids in your grade, basically. You know what I mean? Which is very convenient. You see them every day.
but then, I would say, I feel like Aaron, you have a lot of college friends who you're still very close with, but BU is a huge school, right?
Yeah,
There must be another reason why you guys kind of gravitated towards one another.
That's true.
And you have maintained that friendship over time. I'm not going to say that this take is false because to a certain extent, I 100% agree.
Yeah. But like the difference between convenience and connection, that it just sounds like I don't know if that's even the way that I would break it down. You know, like you can connect with people that are conveniently in your orbit. You know what I mean? Like now, would you have the deepest friendships? Like this comes down to like your soulmate, right? Like romance, like the people that you fall in love with and end up with, by and large, tend to be people that you see frequently. So that's why a lot of workplace relationships are organic, or college or high school sweethearts are organic, but they're not. I mean, how can you calculate the probability of them being your number one soulmate, the one you're most compatible with?
I
You know
see
what I mean?
you're
Like
saying,
it's just like at the end of the day, I think life is all about just making a fucking decision. Frankly, if I'm being honest. So it's like, yeah, like we're homies, not just because like we're all friends because also we have similar interests and similar backgrounds. We share a commonality. It's not just like, oh, I see you guys in my neighborhood, so we're friends. It's not that superficial.
No, that's the only reason why.
Like I feel like some people who go to sports bars a lot and they only bond with like these guys over like watching the game and having beers. not to judge those friendships, but that's a different type of friendship that might be more like convenience based versus like content of character based. But we have so many deep conversations, the three of us, like all of our friends. I think we have really deep conversations that we get to really know each other. That's why we're friends. Otherwise, I don't think we would be, right?
Yeah. You want to pick one?
Your online persona is your real identity now.
I think there's truth to it. And I mean that because I took in college I took a rhetoric of the personal narrative class.
Oh, cool.
And there was like a lot of the discourse in that class was like basically about how your identity in a lot of ways is like defined by how you talk about it.
Yeah.
And one of the ways we communicate now in 2026 is just like through the internet.
Mm-hmm. But this is funny because none of us, at least on our private channels, we're not posting crazy content. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to like advertise ourselves.
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't as much anymore, but I definitely used to post way more, right? And that definitely like built up some sort of reputation for me. And you can feel that impact. Like a lot of like the I don't know. I have like a lot of friends in F&B, like the food and beverage industry. But a lot of it just started from my like posting and stuff, like or like posting online or writing like reviews or what have you, and it gave people like a frame of reference to like think of me by. Right?
Yeah, it helped them shortcut into a way to like identify who James Chung is.
Because otherwise, like without that, it's not like I own a restaurant or something. Like I don't have like a physical place to represent this thing that I care about or whatever.
I agree because when I first met you, I definitely aligned your content with food. But it's funny to think of someone like Jay because like when I think of Jay's social media content, I think of ducks. That's the only thing I think of. I think,
just birds, broadly birds now.
I think of him at the stream taking photos of ducks.
Well, so if in that sense, then I would say accurate. But
That's good.
it's like that's only if you follow me and you actually see my stories.
Yeah.
But if you just follow me, then you're not going to see much of anything.
Yeah.
Right?
The question is really interesting because it only really pertains to a person who is online a lot, like who's on social media a lot.
But then if someone's not on social media a lot,
Are they a
doesn't
real
that say
person?
something about their personality?
Probably not. It just says that they're not trying to play the game, right? Which they shouldn't. So I used to post a lot on my personal channel. I never do anymore, unless it's like, like maybe like today I posted something because I was just like, oh, fuck it. We have a podcast today. Maybe I'll like let people know what I'm doing. But I mean, Jay, you remember the days, and James, you probably remember. I used to post
that's right.
regular stories, like 7 a day, and I liked doing it. And I do think that those posts were a true representation of my humor and like what I'm doing. But so maybe I agree with it. Yeah, I do think the online persona is like a true representation to a certain degree. But I know a lot of people who are fake as fuck who post a lot on social media. So it's hard to say.
I will say disagree for the record.
I don't think I agree it's a true representation, but I think it very much affects.
I think your point might be it's a true representation of how you think of yourself.
Or,
which might be the truest representation.
Well, it's a true
of all.
representation of how people perceive you because it's curated by the things you create.
Maybe this is called looking glass theory, but it's a sociological concept that is I'm not what I think I am, I'm not what you think I am what I think you think I am. And that is very much what I think social media operates under. Like, you know that you're good at food, you're a good cook, you know a lot of F&B, that translates.
You think, therefore you are.
That's not what I'm saying. But nice try. Yeah. But that's like a very age-old sociological thing.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's very true. And social media augments that, man. Like when I see some people, I'm not going to call out names because frankly, I think most people I follow what they post is generally a true representation of themselves. But it's like a curated, this goes into a lot of bullshit, right? But it's curated. It's like some of them make money from it, so they have to sort of serve their base. But especially if you're really attractive, for example, like it's not like you're not attractive. It's not like you're not charismatic, but you're putting that out there because you know it's going to get engagement, and that's beneficial to you at the end of the day. I would revise this hot take to be like, social media is about are you getting out of it? So are you getting satisfaction from the looks or the views, which I used to. I used to love seeing people like and view my stories, right? But some people like literally get money from it, which is crazy because of course it's going to inform it.
I used to care so much about that. It was like, especially when I was like uploading onto YouTube back like, I don't know,
Wow,
18 years ago or whatever.
You were on YouTube?
Or like in 08, 07. What is that? Yeah, like.
Damn, you were back in like
20 years ago.
yeah, like Star Wars kid days.
I was like their
Chocolate Rain era.
I wouldn't, yeah, like honestly around then, and I'd get a lot of comments.
Wow.
I mean, some of them are fucking vile, but I used to get like hundreds of thousands of views back in 08,
Whoa,
and
what kind of content?
it was just me
doing,
vlogging.
dude?
I mean, they're really cringe. Like I have them. I've never shown. I basically am like I'm at a
Never seen
point.
one.
No, I basically am like I will show my like either future wife or maybe revisit them with friends that were on the vlogs back in the day. But otherwise, like they're fully just only for the archives.
For British eyes only.
But
Nice 007 reference.
It's an Arrested Development.
Okay. Yeah.
but
Mr. F.
Yes, there you go.
But I used to care a lot because it's like you would get a lot of, I don't know, you just have like people reacting to you like the moment you click the upload button. You know what I mean?
I don't know what that's like. It takes a few hours for us to get engagement. So
It was crazy.
If we're lucky.
Yeah, for sure. I
Wait,
mean, like,
seriously, you're getting hundreds of thousands.
I
of
mean,
views?
like in like my videos.
Yeah. Day in the life of a marching band virgin at GMU.
That is it's way too late. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's just mean.
I'm
That's not even a
sorry.
bit.
Okay,
This
I'm
is
sorry.
mean.
I'm sorry.
No. It's
I'm
cool.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, but I was in high school. I was in high school.
Okay.
So it was an early high school, right?
Damn, you were like on that shit way back.
Oh, dude, I could have had like blue hair and been just like a streamer.
Yeah,
if I just kept at it. But like at the time, it just was a fundamentally different space at the time.
Yeah. It makes me think of that guy. What's his name? Is it Dax?
Dax Flame.
Yeah, Dax Flame. Because he's like the same era, like just posting him in his room. Like,
Kind of that deal, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been doing that same thing for like basically
20
almost
years.
20 years
Yeah.
now, unchanged.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
he's been playing that character, and obviously like it's a character, but also it's like it can't be okay. So
Is it a character? I feel like he's genuinely
but
or
like
genuinely.
yeah, it has to come from a place of self-awareness, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's like I remember meeting Nathan Fielder, like Nathan for You or whatever.
I also met him once.
Yeah.
It was such an awkward.
he's so awkward, and it's just like what I expected just
Yeah.
having watched his
Yep.
stuff. But obviously, like on TV, it's a little bit elevated, it's a little bit heightened, but it didn't feel that different. To be
I agree.
honest,
I agree.
in a very like it felt very frustrating because I'm like, oh, I wanted it to be more meaningful than
Yeah.
just this very awkward
What
interaction.
was your interaction like?
He was MC or like the host of a screening that I went to in LA when I was living there, and it was for a documentary called Tickled.
I know. Yeah, it's about like the people who get boners from being tickled.
No, it's about the competitive like tickling like league. This like
Dude,
underground.
where our algorithms are so different.
It's an underground tickling league.
So then you came up to him and you're like, "Hey, Mr. Fielder, I'm a big fan."
Well, so I went to the screen. I didn't know he was hosting, but then he was like, "We're in our host, Nathan Fielder." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I went up and talked to him. I was like, Nathan, I'm such a big fan." He's like, "Okay."
That's literally my
Yeah.
interaction. I was at Beef Fest. It was a Tim and Eric event they host in LA every year, and where you just eat a fuck ton of meat. It was really fun.
Was Tim and Eric there? Were Tim and Eric there? Okay.
And they were both really chill. And I was literally in a circle, a bunch of fans were all talking to Tim and Eric, and then Nathan Fielder walked by, and someone was like, "Nathan," and he came to our group, and he like stood there, and then I was like about to say like, "Dude, I love your show," and he basically looked at me, and as soon as I started talking, he walked away.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was just like, and just walked away.
I did pee next to Tim Heidecker once. I was at a comedy club in Silver Lake in LA, and like I'm just using the urinal, and Tim Heidecker walks in and starts peeing next to me. I'm like, oh my god. Don't say anything weird.
Yeah, don't say
anything weird.
Don't look.
Or say something really weird.
No, because the thing is, like, he lives like a weird life already. Like, I'm not trying. Like, the thing is, it's not going to be that interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, and so I much ago, just you just maintain boy code, which is don't talk to people that are peeing.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're really good friends, then changes things. But like, yeah, you try not to talk to strangers.
For sure. All right. Well, that sounds like a great place to end the podcast. James, thank you so much for coming with that segment. It really
thank you.
helped carry the episode. We dedicated fucking 2 hours to it.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Side Dish Podcast. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube now, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us. And with that said, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Hell yeah.
Brother.